Welcome to episode 226 of the podcast. On this episode, I'm chatting with Paul from ROSEFERN Homes. We're seeing not one, but three of their different developments in Christchurch. It's really cool to see a bare land, a mid-construction, and then a finished product. So join us for this episode. It's an awesome insight into ROSEFERN Homes, how they're operating, what they're building, and getting to know Paul a little bit better. It is important to say thanks to ROSEFERN Homes for supporting the podcast. And now let's get into the episode. Welcome to the podcast, Paul.
Yeah.
Good to have you back on.
Thank you.
Where are we, man?
We are at 23 Ensel's Road. So as you can see, it's new development we've got coming up. Going to be putting 6 standalone 3-bedroom houses on here, all with garaging and downstairs bedrooms. We've done a couple of developments now, just really focusing on the downsizer model rather than kind of investor model. So yeah, this is about, I think, 1,100 squares of land, and we've got 6 in. If those were 2 beddies that were connected, you'd probably be able to double the numbers, but just trying to raise the level of our product slightly now. And yeah, just kind of go for a different market.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and you've done a few in this area too, right?
Yeah, we seem to be doing quite a lot around this area at the moment. We've got one on Tennyson Street, one on Roker Street, 12 on Sugden Street by Barrington Park. Yeah, so it's a nice little pocket for us.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And so give us the sort of rundown on the timeline with this. Like, when would you have bought the land roughly? And then, like, how long has it taken to do the demo, consenting? How does it all sort of work roughly?
So we made an offer on this bit of land roughly 8 months ago. We had a 6-month settlement on it. In that time, we always hoped to get all of our consents, our resource consent and building consent done. Building consent was granted this week. So as you can see, they're straight in with the demo. It was an old weatherboard place here. So we actually had the pump house come in and they salvage pretty much anything that you could see on it, from doors, windows, anything they could reuse, they salvaged, which is, it's quite nice to see it get reused.
Yeah, totally.
So from now, we'll probably be, I'd like to say, a 5 to 6 month build. And that's in that time, we'll aim to get code of compliance and titles. And yeah, hopefully we'll have them all pre-sold.
Yeah, hopefully, right?
Hopefully.
And
That's the plan.
speaking of sales, when do you start presenting them for sale?
So this was actually released last week.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. So I think it was released on Friday. The first kind of week, it's generally a little bit slow, but other developments we've got at the moment, we're probably 80 to 90% sold out. Tennyson Street's our only finished development, and we've only got one available. So we've actually really, really done well to not be sitting on too much stock.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And what kind of buyer do you think will be aiming at this product? So like the downsizers, so people likely in the area that are like moving from a larger property down to a smaller one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've done a lot of research, kind of seen that people want to stay in the areas they've been. We've noticed a lot of the people aren't quite as old as we thought they'd be. They're kind of almost just preempting that they are going to need a downstairs bedroom in the future.
Yeah.
We're actually just about to do a development on Salisbury Street where we're going to put lifts in.
Oh, very close.
So
Yeah.
the thinking behind that is, if you've got a downstairs bedroom, you lose a bit of your living, which on Tennyson Street, people seem to, they're still really spacious. People still seem to love them. But the idea is putting a lift in, you just really opening up that downstairs. So it'll then appeal to maybe a younger, more, professional demographic as well, that, they might have kids, but it still future-proofs it for downsizers.
Yeah, cool. Nice. I like it. And where are we off to next?
Next, we'll go to Roker Street. We've got a block of 4 units there.
Yeah.
We've got a standalone 2-beddie with a garage out the front, standalone 3-beddie with a garage out the back, and then a duplex of 3 beddies in the middle.
Got it. Yeah.
We've just got frames up there, so we're probably about 2 to 3 months away from completion, and we've got 2 out of the 4 sold there as well, which is
nice.
kind of a nice place to be.
Yeah. I guess buying off the plans is quite a different proposition than once it's already complete, right? And like looking through it. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, because we're quite small developers, we generally try and work with our buyers to allow them to make kind of some changes within reason. It all depends on what stage of the process they buy. So we have our designer from City Style Co. So Charlotte, she'll work with our buyers. So on Roker Street, she's currently working with the buyers and the kitchen manufacturers. The new purchasers want to change. They've got an island at the moment and they want a U-shaped kitchen. So she facilitates all that stuff for them, which is great because you can still give it a personal touch.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Yeah, we're not quite design and build, but it's nice to be able to do what we can do.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's just an advantage of getting it at the earlier stages then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the earlier you get it, in general, the more changes you can make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you, like, would it be reasonable to suggest that you'd often or sometimes get an uplift on price based on like the off the plans price and then like the final valuation, or is it just impossible to say?
Yeah, we're pretty we stand behind our product. We kind of believe that what we do is in the upper level of building.
Mm.
I'd say the stuff that we do, yeah, it's higher price range, but it's very affordable for the spec we do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, touching on that, so we sold 2 out of the 3 three-bedroom places at Tennyson for 949, and then we took the final one to auction. The buyers loved it. The auction was brought forward, and they ended up paying 965. So it's nice to see there was uplift on that.
Yeah, cool. Nice. All right. Well, let's go have a look at the next one.
Cool.
All right. 16 Roker Street. Here we are.
Yep. So as you can see, we started the week before Christmas here, so we didn't get a lot done. Demo and just had to dig out for the slabs.
Yeah.
So you can see now, cracking into it, we've got 4 new houses. We've got a 2-beddy standalone with a garage at the front, 2 3-bedroom duplexes with garaging, and then the back one's a 3-bedroom standalone as well.
Yeah.
So we're down for completion here. We'll have code of compliance and titles ready to hand over probably early June, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. What generally happens on a build like this? Is there usually multiple sub trades all at once, or is it sequential, or how does it work?
Speed's key for us. We like to try and break ground and have them all solved within 6 months. So there's times that are more hectic than others. The builders are on it here at the moment. We're just waiting for the roof to go on next week. From there, windows go in, try and get it watertight as soon as we can.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we've got it watertight, they can obviously start all the inside stuff. And then crack onto the cladding as well, which is all brick on this one with some feature steel as well. The idea is just zero maintenance.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I've really noticed that lately with my own place, just how maintenance is a reality, right?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that I love the look of timber.
Yeah.
I love the look of cedar, but do you want to be staining it in 5 years? I know I don't.
No.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Is there much of a difference with building and the seasons? Like, do you notice that if you time it right in the seasons, it goes faster, or not so
Yeah,
much?
definitely. We've had a lot of delays this summer with rain
Oh, yeah.
on this project. For us, we'll always try and get. You can see the driveways protected here. We'll always get our driveways down as soon as we can, and then once pretty much there's a few other things that go in. Once we get our pre-line inspection, things like water meters as well, means that we can start the process to apply for titles. We used to do it a different way where we put the driveway down at the end, but then it just had, it was, probably had a month to 2 months depending on processing times.
Right.
So the idea is once we're finished, we're kind of getting people moved in as soon as we can.
All right. Oh, so there's like concrete underneath
Yeah,
that?
so there's concrete under there that's protected.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's sometimes a kind of job to keep it protected.
Yeah.
Not everyone takes as much care as you'd like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, we've got a good crew on this, so hopefully, touch wood, we've not had too much damage to any driveways previously.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How many inspections are there? How many council inspections are there throughout a build?
Depending on the complexity of the build, you'd probably be a dozen. Yeah. So some inspections don't go through council, some are just done by engineers.
Oh, yeah.
When you get the consent, you'll get a full list of inspections that you need to do. And they all lead kind of one into, if you don't pass one, sometimes you'll be allowed to continue. If it's just, oh, can you send me a photo of this bit? But in general, you want them all passed, and then kind of just tick them off and move your way through them.
Yeah, yeah. Have you seen much difference with technology in the last couple of years in terms of like the council consenting and just like making life easier?
Building consenting kind of comes in waves. There'll be times when they're busy, there'll be times when they're slow. So that's kind of one part of the process that's out of our hands. There's a new private building consenting authority at the moment. We apply for resource consent originally, which is just allowing us to do the activity that we want on the land. Then the building activity is kind of your more technical stuff. So your engineering, the actual structure of it. So there's a new building consenting authority at the moment, which is privately run, and they're speeding things up massively.
Yeah, nice.
Even with inspections at the moment, I think we booked an inspection today, and the nearest one we could get was about 4 weeks away.
Wow.
So it kind of it's a bit of a wild, wild west out there. You kind of just go on a wait list, and then they could ring you up tomorrow and just say, I can get an inspection, which makes it difficult to plan because we don't need an inspection for, say, 2 weeks, but the closest inspection's 4 weeks away. And then you go on the wait list and someone comes in the next. Yeah, it makes it hard to plan in that respect.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, when you factor that in and like weather.
Weather's always messing us around here.
Yeah.
You know, rain, there's not so much they can do safely in the rain sometimes. And
Yeah.
especially at the beginning part of the project, when you're putting your foundations down, you are so weather dependent. We had big delays on one of the jobs that we're doing in the city centre.
Yeah.
Just trying to get it dry enough that we could get the driveways down and get the foundations down.
Yeah, right. Wow. Do you ever wrap them? Do you ever have to wrap them in that plastic stuff, or is that not really?
We've not done it before. Generally, you can see we get eco-ply on as soon as we can. Once the roof and the windows are on, we're pretty much watertight.
Yeah.
Done quite, reclads before where we've looked into it. I think our weather in winter we found is it's not too wet here, so it's not a big issue.
Got it. Yeah.
You get a few wet days, but just get on with it.
Yeah. Cool. Where are we off to next?
Next we'll go to Tennyson Street next.
Sweet.
This will be very similar to Tennyson once it's completed.
Yeah.
So we've kind of got a style of brick that we're really liking using at the moment, which is kind of an aged red brick. I took inspiration from kind of red barn conversions back in the UK where my mum lives. I kind of love that kind of old mix, but having it modern as well.
Yeah, cool.
So we'll go to Tennyson and you can see the finished product.
Go and have a look. Yeah, love it. All right. We've made it, Paul. We're here. The finished product.
Yep, so 92 Tennyson, block of 6 we've got here. We've done 4 standalone 3-bedroom places with garaging and then a 2-bedroom duplex in the middle.
Yeah.
5 out of the 6 have sold here. The one without the downstairs bedroom is the one that actually hasn't sold. So yeah, real happy with the development. Love the way it looks. It's nice actually getting feedback from locals. We had an open day here and we had all the locals coming down saying how impressed they were with the look, which is always nice because you don't always have the best name as a developer.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I came down with Emily to the open day and it was awesome. Like people just seemed genuinely happy and impressed, and it was super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fine line. You obviously want to make money, but at the same time you kind of have a social responsibility to kind of do justice to good areas.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think you're right. I think that is a delicate balance, but I mean, how can you argue with that? Like, it's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So nice. I'm sure there's been iteration over the years too, right?
Yeah.
With design and
definitely. You kind of feel like we've really found our design now.
Yeah.
All permanent materials. These are, like I was saying before, where the aged red bricks. These actually come from Italy.
Oh wow.
There's quite a process to make them look aged. They kind of bring them out of the kiln. They actually just drop them off a pallet, so it gives them that texture. So yeah, it's a really interesting process, but I just love the look of them.
Yeah, super good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
And then you got new wall steel cladding here, which again, zero maintenance. Your window boxes that the architects love.
Do they?
Yeah, they love them.
Yeah.
Just gives it a bit extra kind of architectural feel to it.
Yeah.
And then nice Queeler deck. Again, want zero maintenance garden, so we just put bark down. The idea is to kind of enjoy it rather than spending all your time looking after it.
Totally, yeah. And what's this one listed at?
This at the moment is 949. The other 3 in the block, the neighbouring one, the back one, sold for 949 off plan, and then the one right at the back sold for 965.
Yeah, cool. Nice. Let's go and have a look.
Oh, come and have a look. This cabinet here was custom built.
Wow.
Just one real livable spaces, really.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Each project we have is individually designed. Our thinking is these, as well as being houses, they're also, a lot of people's biggest investments they make in life. We want to have the feel of a ROSEFERN home, but we want them all to be slightly different. We want people to be able to tell it's ours, but at the same time, have their own personal place.
Yeah. So although they're not necessarily designed for investors, do you get investors buying them all the same occasionally?
The new stock we do, but we're probably only 10-20% investors now. The clientele we're dealing with now generally a lot more cash rich, so a lot of people downsizing won't even need finance. They're a lot better clients. Investors generally want everything. They want cheap rental guarantees.
Right.
They're shopping around, whereas now we're getting people that fall in love with our houses, so they just want the house.
Yeah, so good.
We stand by that. We know that these are good value. The fixtures and fittings, unless you went crazy and started importing, crazy Italian kitchens or stuff like that, you probably can't get much higher.
Yeah, no, it feels super high.
Bench tops and Miele appliances, all the kitchens custom made.
Yeah, nice. Did you say it's got EV charger?
Yep. So townhouses generally get quite hot upstairs. So all of them to do with the specs. So we have alarms, we have airflow systems in all of them. So every room can be individually controlled. The comes through to the garage. We have wired for EV chargers. You can control all the zones.
Man, that's cool.
I haven't played around with it too much.
Because the old heat pump remotes, you can never work them, right? They never work. That's awesome. That's so good.
So as well with these, they all come with solar. So they've got solar panels on the roof.
Yeah.
EV charging wired in there as well. So if someone did want an EV charger, we can fit them for people. Our thinking is lowest maintenance as possible and cheaper living. So with the solar, we've had someone that's bought one and they think they've cut their power bill down by 70%. So they have all their smart features that we've got in here working during the day when the sun's out.
Right. Yeah.
And then at night, they've got a power company. They get a free hour of power. Right. So they do all their washing and drying like that. So yeah, he's kind of geeked out on a brick, but yeah, it's good to see.
That's cool. Yeah, it's quite the commitment putting solar in. Like that's pretty forward thinking, right?
Originally, we were doing it as optional, but probably 80% of people are taking us up on it.
Yeah.
So we've just worked it in, and now just with that extra buying power, it allows us to actually do it more affordable for people.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Nice. Yeah, I looked at getting it at my place, but the roof's not positioned correctly, or the surface area that's in the right direction is not.
Yeah, it's quite scientific, isn't it?
Apparently, yeah. I was so surprised. Like, the guy's like, "No, we can't do it." I'm like, "What do you mean?
Surely they could do something."
No, apparently not.
This was just kind of an afterthought. Well, not afterthought, but it wasn't on the original plans. And then we just wanted to put some kind of feature timber rather than just a standard wall here or glass balustrades. So these are all actually custom made. Timber floors as well. Usually we go carpeted, and kind of had mixed feedback between the timber floor and, some people like the carpet in the living areas. Again, what we were saying earlier, if people buy with us early enough, we can swap it. So a couple of these houses actually got carpeted living areas and carpeted stairs. But again, it's hard when you're doing a development of 6 to try and make all of your potential buyers happy.
For sure.
So we always find that there'll be a couple that are changed, there's a couple that are not. But yeah, coming up, look upstairs. So we've got 3 bedrooms upstairs in this one. So you have one bathroom here, which serves as 2 of the bedrooms, and then the master's actually got an ensuite.
Wow, super nice spec.
Yeah, we've had real good feedback in this one on the tiles, the timber tiles.
Yeah.
They're timber-looking tiles. Mm-hmm. On the open day, we actually had people thinking that we put timber in our showers, which, it's always interesting.
Yeah.
They're all firmly lined.
Man, so nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. Do you always stage them when they're at this point?
In an ideal world, we'd like to have them sold out prior to completion. But yeah, staging, never used to see the value in it, but now anything we sell, we stage.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of people just struggle to see what they can get in the spaces. And a lot of the time you put furniture in and you realize how much extra room you've actually got by having the right furniture in there.
Yeah.
People just kind of find it hard to imagine what's gonna be in the space.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I guess the furniture can either uplift it or
Yeah,
detract from it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we generally have different stages with different styles. Again, our designer, she works closely with the stages to kind of give her idea on what feel she wants. So that's nice to have that touch as well.
Yeah, super nice. Love it. We'll head downstairs. Yeah, I'm definitely one of those guys that if I were to see an empty place, visualizing what it could look like with furniture.
Got some cool little feature lights in here as well that are in here.
Yeah, so nice.
I like lighting. You know, it's just doing something a bit different.
Yeah. I was watching a video on that lately around interior design and how the lighting can make a ginormous difference. It's like this thing that not a lot of people really understand.
So I don't really have any like input in the design. We leave it all to the designer. Charlotte designs. Yeah. We give her kind of free rein, and then she'll come back to us with mood boards and ideas, and it's it all comes together nicely when it's finished.
Do you ever find that fine balance between, over capitalizing, intelligent, intentional design?
Yeah, it's
treating that balance.
Constant not struggle, but it's always give and take. I think it's easy to design an amazing house if you don't have a budget.
Absolutely, and that's sort of what I was getting at. Yeah.
So it's a constant give and take of, okay, what can we put in here? So we've just upgraded to the Miele appliances. Before we were using Fisher and Paykel. So they've got 800 induction cooktops and some ovens, and Miele do a quite cool thing as well with every house that we sell with Miele appliance. They put on a Miele experience in the civic centre.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone here in the next month or so, will all go together. We'll go along with them. They put on dinner. They have a chef in. They do wine pairing, and they just teach you how to use your Miele appliances.
Wow.
So it's just, I look at my oven and I don't know what half the things do.
No.
That's just a little.
That's cool.
Bonus.
Yeah, totally. No, I like that.
Yeah, integrated dishwasher on that side as well. We want people to be able to just move in.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, oh, that's so nice, isn't it? Have they all got similar spec?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The kind of cheaper stock we do is similar. The real wood flooring is definitely spec'd up. These are quite a bit more spacious, as you can see.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar spec.
It's so good doing an episode in an actual finished home. It's one thing to record in the studio and to talk about it and to look at imagery, but
it's nice to show people around it.
Absolutely.
This has been a real kind of passion project for me because it was our first jump at getting away from your density townhousing. So it was a bit of a risk from our side of things. When we first released these, we were getting valuations, and the valuer couldn't put more than 850 on them, I think. We've kind of broken the records for what they're selling for, but
yeah, right.
People just love the product.
Yeah. Is that because there was just no comparables?
Yeah, there's just a lot of land and houses around here. You've either got the townhouses, you can see across the road, there's 2 or 3 developments going on. But a lot of houses around here have got big bits of land, and when you're over $1,000 a square meter, a 500 square meter section is, you've already got half a mil in your land value there. So it's a good way of getting real high quality housing. These are probably 200 to 300 square meters of land, I'd say. So it's quite small, but you get a really good sized house on it and a small garden, and it kind of just means they're affordable. I know around the corner on Centaurus, there's a 4-bed, 200 square meter house that's just sold for, I think, 1.4 or 1.5 million.
Yeah, right.
Quality wise, these are identical. It's probably an extra 50 square meters bigger, but you can kind of see the price difference of what people would need to pay if they wanted a new building there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, interesting. Oh, that's good. No, amazing seeing it. I'm stoked. Yeah. Very, very impressed. Really appreciate the tour. That's so good, seeing the multiple sites, different stages.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. So next up for the rest of the year, got some exciting changes.
Yeah, so we've got kind of more of the same in Christchurch, looking kind of similar to higher level houses. So we've got some coming up on Salisbury Street, which will be circa probably mid 1 millions. We've just done a development of 5 on Hurley Street, just around the corner, and those sold really well. And a couple more projects around this area already lined up. But the big stuff we're kind of looking forward to is some units in Queenstown. So just in for resource consent on those. Hopefully we'll have them released in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, very cool.
So yeah, we're just looking at a few more projects down there as well. Seems like every developer from Christchurch is down there now. You know, our main focus will still be Christchurch. I think we'll just kind of maybe have one or two going down there, but it's exciting.
Yeah,
It's cool to do.
we could probably almost time the release of this podcast with the release of Queenstown if it's going to be a few weeks away. So that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I might have seen those renderings, and that's pretty sexy looking. So
yeah, and so we're trying to do something a bit different down there as well. So it kind of feels like Queenstown's going through what Christchurch did when the townhouse boom happened here. Seems like everyone's jumping in. There's a lot of builds that, are not questionable, but I personally wouldn't buy, a lot of plaster boxes. And so we've gone that level a bit higher. It's tough down there because it's such an investor market that you can't overspec things because it's probably going to be an Airbnb.
right.
Where we're in Hallenstein Street, so pretty much in the centre. So we'll get the 365 visitors accommodation, which is just gold down there.
Yeah, right. Wow. And what roughly can we expect?
So we've got 8 townhouses in 2 blocks, 3 3-beddies with garaging and a 4-beddie with garaging. So they're going to be kind of circa 2 million, I'd say, when once they're done.
Yeah.
Ideally, things seem to be selling pretty well down there, so I'd like to say that they'll all be sold out.
Yeah.
And then all we have to do is build them.
Yeah, nice.
It's kind of feels generally in Christchurch, the building part's the easy part and the sales are a bit slower. I think down there it's probably going to be a bit of a flip. I think I can see the sales going really well, but it's going to be a whole new process building down there.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that's super cool. I love it down there. It's such a good time.
Yeah, excuses to go down.
So totally. Yeah. Who doesn't love going to Queenstown, right? Yeah, so good. Well, no, thank you very much. It's so good seeing a finished property, and I can't wait to see what happens for the rest of the year.
Cool.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers, mate.